A couple of weeks ago, I predicted the WrestleMania 41 card, and I briefly became the most hated man in the Instagram wrestling community. Everyone was acting like this was the card which I wanted to happen, but no, it's just the card I predict. And honestly, I stand by quite a few of those predictions, but a few of them I've already got massively wrong. So today I'm going to give my updated WrestleMania card following the Royal Rumble and Saturday night's main event, and hopefully this one will be a little more accurate. Like I said, some matches I'm going to stick with, others I'm going to change. And once again, as always here at Wrestling Republic, we are dirt sheet free. I'm not reading any of those dirt sheet reports, so maybe somebody's reported, oh, this isn't happening. I don't care, I don't want to be spoiled, and quite frankly, a lot of the time they end up being wrong anyway. In at number 1, Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. This, of course, was a match which I previously had not predicted. I thought Brock was going to return at the Royal Rumble and it was going to be Gunther versus Lesnar at Mania. Clearly, that's not the case now, and it's going to be Jey Uso challenging for the world title instead. I also previously predicted I thought Gunther was going to drop the title before WrestleMania. Clearly, I think at this point we can presume that's not going to happen as well. So Gunther versus Jey Uso is my first prediction. Secondly, for the World Tag Team Championships, I am still predicting that the Viking Raiders, the War Raiders now, I keep saying the wrong name, even in my notes it's the wrong name, are going to defend against the New Day. I feel like this is a fairly safe prediction, quite honestly. They're clearly building New Day back up. They had a new theme this week, which is an absolute banger, and yeah, I'd be excited for this match. As for the WWE tag, I still think we're going to see a fatal four-way between DIY, Pretty Deadly, the Street Profits, and Motor City Machine Guns in a ladder match. Now, I said at the time when I predicted this that this wasn't some wild prediction, but since it's become even more likely, and I do think they could steal the show, and I really hope that we do get to see it, because these four tag teams are insanely talented in the ring, and a tag team ladder match is always fun to see at WrestleMania. In at number 4, another match which I think has become a lot more likely since I last said it, is John Cena versus Logan Paul. Of course, Cena eliminated Logan at the Rumble, and Logan was not happy at all. Now, I do understand a lot of people are predicting John Cena will win the Elimination Chamber, and it will be Cody versus Cena at Mania, and I do understand that prediction, and quite frankly, I would enjoy seeing that match, especially if we get a bit more of a tweener Cody, a Homelander Cody. But I don't think Cena's going to get a title shot yet. I think his losing streak's going to continue for a little while up until WrestleMania, where he beats Logan Paul and then starts to rise to the top once again. And I know a lot of people, they were fuming in the Instagram comments when I said this last time. How on earth could John Cena's last WrestleMania match be against Logan Paul? And quite frankly, I agree, but I also do think that's what's going to happen here. People forget that over the past year, John Cena and Logan Paul have worked together a lot outside of WWE. I think John Cena went on Impulsive, and then Logan Paul went on John Cena's new show as well. And even in those, John Cena openly said he wanted to work with Logan Paul. And of course, that doesn't necessarily have to mean at WrestleMania, but that would be a big money match. And I do think this is going to be the first win on John Cena's retirement tour. Up next, we have Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, another match which has become drastically more likely since the last time that I predicted it. And again, when I predicted it last time, everyone was like, oh, they're not going to do that again. They only did it a couple of years ago. And that is true, but this time the roles are reversed. Last time, Sami Zayn was the conspiracy theorist who thought the world was against him. This time, it's Kevin Owens. So it does make sense. And as I keep on saying, I will never complain about seeing these two guys face each other at WrestleMania. Another non-changer, which is massively more likely than a couple of weeks ago, is the Judgment Day versus the Wyatt Six with Alexa Bliss. Now, I can't remember which way round it was, but either Alexa eliminated Liv Morgan or Liv eliminated Alexa at the Royal Rumble. So I do think this is what they're going to be building to, and I do think it could be a very exciting, interesting, I don't really know the word for it. Do I actually care about this? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But at the end of the day, the Judgment Day need to do something. And there's been so many holes and tensions within that faction since they split up last time because there were so many holes and feuds between that faction. I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense, does it? But regardless, I think we're going to see this match. The Wyatt Six are going to exploit even more holes in the Judgment Day. It'll be a fun 5-win. It gives everybody involved something to do, because that is another issue which WWE have at this point in time. There are so many great stars in that company, so many talented stars in that company, which have done so much good work over the space of the year, and they only have so many spaces on the WrestleMania card. But for the IC title picture, I am predicting a change compared to what I predicted a couple of weeks ago. I previously predicted Bron Breakker would defend against Damian Priest, but obviously Damian Priest has now been drafted to Friday Night SmackDown. But somebody who has been drafted to Raw is AJ Styles, a returning AJ Styles, somebody who I didn't even factor into my original predictions. And we saw this kind of teased on last week's Raw when AJ Styles was on the screen when Bron Breakker walked in to talk to Adam Pearce about the Intercontinental Championship. So I do think this is going to be the direction for WrestleMania, and I do think this could be a little bit of a banger. Like I said last time, I don't think either of the US titles will be defended at WrestleMania, but I do think both of the Intercontinental Championships will be. Now, this is one of the matches which I'm massively unsure about. But for the time being, I'm going to stick to what I predicted last time. I think Lyra Valkyria is going to defend in a four-way against Bayley, Roxanne Perez, and Io Sky. We've seen teasers between all four of them in recent weeks, so I do think it would make sense. But at the same time, Io Sky could go for Rhea Ripley. So I could see that match happening as well if she finds her way into Elimination Chamber. But I also do think based on what happened on this week's Raw, it could well just be Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky at Elimination Chamber. Now, time to talk a little bit about the Bloodline, because it is quite obvious to me at least that they are going to find something for them on this WrestleMania card. Jacob Fatu is so over, Solo Sikoa is meant to be the face of that faction, Tama Tonga so over, and Tonga Loa hopefully should be returning around then. So I could see those four teaming up in an 8-man tag team match like I said last time. But what has changed since last time is one, Jey Uso blatantly won't be involved now. Secondly, I don't think Andrade will be involved either. So I'm now predicting it will be the team of Jimmy Uso, Damian Priest, LA Knight, and Braun Strowman. We know they all have issues with Solo Sikoa's bloodline, so it would make sense. Would it feel a little bit random and a little bit filler? Yes, but like I said, there's only limited amounts of space on this WrestleMania card, and they gotta find space for certain people. In fact, all 8 of these guys, realistically. This does scream of a toilet break, though. As for the Women's Tag Team Championships, I'm actually going to flip my prediction from last time, because I think Cargill is going to be one half of the Tag Team Champions. I think she's going to return, and Naomi is going to reluctantly give her back the belt, and then we get Cargill and Belair versus Naomi and Jordynne Grace at WrestleMania. I believe Naomi was the one to take out Cargill, and Jordynne Grace assisted her in it. She was the one who actually did it for her, and there we are. We know they had history in TNA. We saw them hug at the Royal Rumble, so it does make sense. This isn't necessarily one of the predictions I'm that confident about, but I do think it could happen, and right now I think is probably the most likely option for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Now for the World Women's Championship, and I'm still going to predict it's going to be Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. I'm still predicting or holding out hope that Becky Lynch is going to return at the Elimination Chamber. I'm a lot more unsure of it now, and like I said previously, it could equally just as likely be Io Sky. But for the time being, I'm going to stick with a prediction. Another prediction which I'm going to stick with is the men's fatal four-way: Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. The big change is I no longer think the world title is going to be involved for obvious reasons, but I still think this needs to be a four-way, and so many people are predicting a match without Drew McIntyre, but Drew has to be involved. He is so important to this storyline. He is the glue that holds them all together. I will not shut up about it, and quite frankly, I'm going to be very angry if they don't involve Drew, because it will just feel like he's been a bit snubbed if that is the case. And for the WWE Women's Championship, I'm still predicting Tiffany Stratton will defend against Charlotte Flair. I predicted that Charlotte Flair was going to win the Royal Rumble. She did win the Royal Rumble, so it makes a lot of sense to me. I'm obviously not going to change it. I do think Charlotte's going to turn heel. I think it is going to be a face Tiffy now against a heel Charlotte. Obviously, a face Charlotte isn't working, and it was never going to work if she was just going to return and win the Rumble. And finally, I predict the main event of WrestleMania for the WWE Championship is still going to be Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Now, I know a lot of people hate this. I understood that. I get people are saying, it makes no sense. Why is Randy going to go for Cody instead of Kevin? Well, Randy's done this time and time again in his career, hasn't he? He's returned from injury and blamed somebody else and done a random heel turn, and that is what I think is going to happen here. Now, a big reason for that is I think we're going to end up getting to Randy Orton as the WWE Champion versus John Cena, and Cena's going to try and win that 17th championship while Orton is going to try and stop him. I understand it's not Homelander Cody. I understand it's not what people want. And quite frankly, it's not necessarily what I would want either. I'm okay with it. I think it's a perfectly fine Mania main event, but it's not necessarily, a story which, I mean, it could be, but it just, from here to that point, would feel a little rushed. But at the same time, it's the longest road to WrestleMania we've ever had, so it is possible. But yeah, that's my WrestleMania 41 predicted card as of February 5th, 2025. What matches do you guys agree or disagree with me on? Let me know in the comments down below. And hopefully this time I'll get a little less hate when I post this on Instagram. But quite honestly, I highly doubt it. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys could like and subscribe, I would massively appreciate it. It really does help us out. Here at Wrestling Republic, we do 5 to 10 free videos every single week. And in addition to that, we do a live daily stream at 8 p.m. UK, 12 p.m. Pacific in America, and 3 p.m. Eastern in America every single day. I hope to see you guys there. Thank you for watching. Peace!